ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And that's a sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done, streams the games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That's for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. The games just for fun, we'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And that's a sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done, streams the games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
This for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done. Streets and games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. OTG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
Right, folks, good evening. Welcome back to VP4TV. Just to clarify things, One Pocket Slim spoke to me earlier on in the week. I can't remember when, but he said he wouldn't be able to make it for Friday. I said I would think about doing the stream. It just depends how I feel. I don't feel any different to what I normally feel. I feel knackered. But anyway, you know what will happen. My brain will begin to shut down in about half an hour's time. But we're here for Friday night 9-ball. It is, it's basically knockout because it's single elimination race to 9 all rounds. And it is Moneyball handicapping. And it starts in about 2 minutes' time. Now, the last time I checked, we had, I think, 10 in, which is actually pretty good nowadays for Friday night 9-ball. It's been pretty poor attendances for some reason. I don't know why. People have lost interest in it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, still 10. So there's going to be a couple of buys in it. One thing I want to just cover while I remember, we need to have a quick look at the schedule because as of tomorrow, and I'm talking about the schedule for the 9-ball World Championship, as of tomorrow, I am finished work for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be able to stream quite a lot of matches as well as hopefully see a few of the World Cup matches in the football. First game will be seen at 1 a.m. in the morning will be England, who are playing tomorrow night. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches scheduled in the World Championships. Now, some of these will be round 2 matches now, and in fact, I think they're all winner side matches. I don't see any losers matches there. We have Baxter up against Mooncake on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. British Summer Time. This bracket will be drawn by the time I get back there, but there's no hurry to get there. Albinario Interchange X on Sunday at 5 p.m. I should be around for that as well. We have Larry against Bedhead, which will be Sunday at. Now, hang on a minute here. Wait a minute. We'll get. Oh, tell a lie. That's 3 hours later. That's Larry against Bedhead. I wonder whether Slim will want to do one of those matches. It might be best to hang off deciding what one's going to be done because if Slim's on his day off tomorrow and Monday, so I don't know whether Slim wants to do any of them. We have Cobra against V Max Joe. I thought that was a forfeit, but anyway, it looks as if it's been rearranged. I don't know what's happening there. Maybe I got confused, but anyway, they're scheduled for Monday at 6 p.m. And then the last one's Pool Kabouter Spectre Dawn, which is also Monday at around 8:30 p.m. So that's the schedule on the World Championships. Let me see if we can get back to Friday night 9-ball. The event is active. We'll check the bracket and have a quick look and see who's got who. So at the top of the bracket, we have Romario up against Stefan, who's getting last 2. Spectre Dawn's got a bye. Liquid's got a bye. And Silent but Deadly has got a bye. And the bad news for Liquid is that Liquid plays Silent but Deadly in his match. We have Larry up against Mark Shark. Mark Shark's getting the 8 ball. German Pop Machine's got a bye, Bouncer's got a bye, and Brainful Out's got a bye. So we've got 2 matches in round 1, and the one I'm going to go to is the top one between Romario and Stefan. And we will get in there and catch up with that one.
Welcome to VP4TV. We have live streams from all the major events in Virtual Pool 4 online. We also have live commentary on many matches where I am joined in the commentary booth by game developer Steve Chaplin. I am Tactical Genius aka 9ball.com aka Hugh.
So here we are, Stefan just breaking off, having won the lag. And Stefan is getting last 2. Break is dry. And Romario has no shot in the 1. So he's looking for a decent push out. Well, let's have a quick look at what this is like from this end. Romario's immediately been put back in. And it's really awkward to control the cue ball as to where you want to let this cue ball roll out to. That's not going to work. That's going to give Stefan a free shot here. And a little hold with the cue ball, and he's on that too. The only problem is the 9 ball up top. It's guarding that 3 ball, and you've got to get into a pretty tight area if you can get up the table onto this 3. Now that line looks not too bad. He's got there, although he's dead straight. But again, he doesn't have to do anything other than just come out of there, and he'll have a shot in the 4 ball. So this is the important one, getting out of there onto this 5 ball. Now he's checked it up big time. He hasn't quite killed the pace enough. He's gone a wee bit square, but one more good pot and he should be good to go here. Remember, last 2, so he just needs the 6, the 7, and that 8 ball. And this looks good enough just to drop it. Well, he hasn't opened out the angle enough. He's going to maybe have to come around a couple of rails here, unless he's going to leave it into the other side. Well, he hasn't hit it. He should have ran that. Maybe the 2-3 rails. He's now in no man's land with a dodgy cut, and you've got to watch the scratch on the side. Well, he's avoided it, dug down to draw off, and that's a good out from Stefan. That was well done. So the push out for Romario backfired there. Now, hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear, and hopefully whoever's watching can actually hear the game sound, because the number of viewers I had the other day, nobody thought to tell me, apart from Larry, that there was no game audio. So anyway, a good start for Stefan. Well, I've said this enough times with Stefan, and Romario's probably falls into the same category, as a matter of fact. Stefan blows hot and cold. Romario, between the two of these guys, blows more hot than cold, probably, than Stefan does. Romario should be the favourite. But I think with this pair lined up, anything can happen. Well, Stefan is going to get away with it. Again, a quick reminder, the I'm assuming that jump cues are on in this Friday night 9-ball. I didn't look at and I can't remember the rule settings for this, but I'm pretty certain that jump cues are on. Oh, is that 3 going to sneak out? Has it sneaked out? Not far enough. Oh, that's going to work out perfect for Romario. The kick shot. Unfortunately, he's going to have to kick again because he can't see the 4. And of course, that was always going to be the outcome there. Coming off the back of the 4, he scratches. And a chance for Stefan to pounce and take full advantage with the ball in hand and this last 2 handicap that he's getting. Cue ball stays good. So this should be very simple. Just come over to the right-hand side, drop that 7-ball in. He hasn't gone quite straight as he would like, but I don't think there's a problem. He just needs to drop this in, but hold the cue ball and roll that 8 into the left side pocket. But he's overcooked it. He's overcooked it. Oh, I thought he'd hooked himself behind the 9 there. He's okay. So 2-0. And a couple of balls in the break. And there's that dodgy pattern with the 3 balls, but he's on the 2. Again, he's going to have to manipulate this cue ball a bit. Probably just coming around the back for this 4-ball if he can check it up enough. No, he's actually going straight. So I thought he'd enough English on it to spin around the back there, but then he might have changed his mind and he's ended up nowhere. Trying to run for cover, use those 2 balls. Well, it's going to work. He's just left an edge, though, for Romario to escape and get this cue ball and give it a bit of yardage and use those 2 balls as cover, which he's done. Well, the kick is good. I think he's going to get second prize here as well with cover. Yeah, not a full snooker, but there's not a great deal that Romario can do other than give it a smack. See if he gets lucky. And he might be getting lucky again, although he's left an edge. Now, Stefan, if he plays this right and gets it thin enough, could do the same too. Well, he's trying to go the other way, but this is too heavy. Oh, now the 4-ball hits the knuckle of the side pocket, and now, of course, Romario is hooked. Well, that's one way of doing it. Well, he gets a hit, but there's a cut left on here. Now, that 5-ball does cut as well. Well, that's a good shot. He's judged that very well. Of course, the problem, I think, is the 6-ball. Does that 6-ball go? The 6-ball does go. If he can get down on it far enough. See, from the high angle, the tendency is to cut this into the 8-ball. There is good room if you were sitting there. And that's the problem. You know, the 8-ball just jumped out and grabbed that. Only because he was at a higher angle. It would have been much easier had he got himself down in the line, sort of looking into that corner pocket. So Romario gets a lifeline. He also uses the 8-ball to pot that 6. I don't know that was part of the plan. But, well, he should be getting his first rack on the board. Oh, Mario's letting that cue ball leak away. Should have probably checked that up a bit. Stop it leaking away as far as that. But anyway, comfortably pots the 9, and he's off the mark. This looks dry to me. Well, this could be a very quick rack for Stefan. If he could use this 8 ball just to hold the cue ball for that 2, he can play a 3-9 combo. And he's pretty much done that. Now, this should be very quick. I mean, that 3-9 combo is pretty nigh unmissable. All he has to do is just roll the 2 in. Oh, he's missed the pot in the 2, and he's gifted it to Romario. Oh, that's a big mistake there. And, well, Romario, of course, like I said, with these 2, anything can happen. Romario's missed a fairly straightforward 2 ball. And Stefan somehow is back at the table. Well, one way or another, Romario's got that safe. Just half of the 2 balls showing. And of course, it's pretty much a 2 ball rack, this. Whoever gets the 2 ball, provided they can get the cue ball somewhere up table, they should be able to get on that 3-9 combo. And, well...
Where's the cue ball going?
Is it going to stay up? Just. So now Romario can redeem himself and get himself back on level par. But he's missed the combo. Well, I think if that cue ball had been any further up the table or down the table towards that 3 ball, he would never have missed that. It's the fact that it was sort of right up into that pocket. And he ends up missing the 9 ball combo. And Stefan breathes again. And that 4 ball just catches the knuckle. Let's have a look at the situation here. Well, there's not a problem there over the side pocket. The 7 ball cleanly goes. So Romario will be desperate to stay in touch here. What's he done with the cue ball here? Again, that could have gone very ugly very quickly. He's nudged the 9, so now he's going to have to play a combo this time again. And this time, of course, it's going to be far easier to play the combo. So it is 2 apiece eventually. Into rack number 5. 5 ball goes in.
Where's the cue ball
Cue
going?
ball's gone as well. Now, can Stefan punish Romario for his mistake? Well, again, he's gone. I mean, he can just roll through. Yeah, I thought he was maybe going to hold that for the 2 into the side, but he's going to probably stun across or maybe just draw back off this 3 ball for the 4 down the rail. Doesn't want to overcook that. Nothing to do to go into the 6 ball. So once again, it's a table that, Stefan only needing last 2, just needs to drop the 6 in, make sure he has an angle on the 7, and he can get up the table for the 8. Well, he's gone fairly straight here. He's going to have to punch this around the corner, I think. Well, he's trying to play a stun up the table. That works as well. He's controlled it well enough. So Stefan, pot in 8, goes back into the lead. 3 racks to 2. Might be time for a quick update here and see what's happening. Well, a ball on the break. A shot on the 1. Right, what's happening? We've got Vertical Liquid is playing Silent but Deadly. What the hell's happening there? Vertical Liquid's 5-0 up. Liquid is getting 6 and out. So Liquid's certainly getting the use of his handicap. Larry is 3-2 up against Mark Sharp. Mark Sharp getting the 8 ball. And further down in round 2, we've got Bankster 2-1 up against Brainfallout. So Liquid is on fire at the moment, getting full benefit of his handicap, and clearly Silent but Deadly's maybe been making 1 or 2 mistakes. Maybe that's how it's gone. And meanwhile, Stefan plays the safety, an easy kick for Romario. Almost potted that in the corner. And would you believe it, the jammy gets covered again behind the 9. Well, you always need a roll here or there. And Stefan has left the 2 on. Again, this is something, a shot that has to be controlled here. I mean, he's got a fair distance to the 5 ball itself, but then that cue ball has got to track back the way. And he's playing it in such a way he didn't want to interfere with the 9 ball. Another ounce on that and he'd have been hooked. Now he's just trying to drag the pace off the cue ball to hold for the 8, and that was well done. And in goes the 9. We're back all square. And 6 ball tracks into the corner. And not only that, there's a dodgy combo on the 1-2 here, or a billiard. He tried the billiard. Cue ball stays in the table. Now, the problem with this shot for Stefan is this cue ball wants to head up into no man's land up the top of the table. He's right in the pocket. And he's had a smack at it. Romario will have a similar problem. Again, he's stuck to the rail pretty much, and he's got a long distance to travel with this cue ball. Well, I think the 2 ball cuts. It certainly does. Got to remember about the 3 ball, though. Doesn't want to run too far up the table, or run far enough he has to, because he doesn't want to mess about with that set of 3 balls in the middle of the table. Could hook himself. Well, this is testy. A dodgy angle and a bit close, and not quite as easy to judge as Steve might think. Well, that's going to be a decent enough line on the 5 ball. It's whether he's going to go forward and avoid the bump in the 7. See, is it coming out far enough? Yes, it has done. It's just spun out far enough. So a good angle to drop down onto the 8 for a 4-3 lead. And meanwhile, Silent but Deadly has left the building. Well, we'll maybe get an explanation as to what was happening there with Vertical Liquid and Silent but Deadly. Well, he's obviously turned up tonight stone cold, and Liquid, when we checked there, was 5-0 up. So Silent but Deadly has probably not been too happy that he's had such a hefty handicap against him, but them's the breaks. And meanwhile, we've got Stefan with a 4-3 lead. Well, I know you must have been making some shots and he must have been making some errors, but with that hefty handicap, he's got to keep things very tight. If he was taking the odd liberty and making mistakes, then the end result is always going to happen like that. So that's the first result of the night. Stefan trying to... I don't know. There was a bit of a pause there, by the way, when that cue ball hit those 2 balls. Was it a legal shot? It certainly was. It was. It looked simultaneous, but the VP4 referee called it. Right, so Vertical Liquid is now through to round 3, and he's going to have a bit of a wait, because obviously this match we're watching, the winner plays Spectre Dawn in round 2, and then the winner of that will play Liquid in round 3, so he can have a coffee break, a tea break, or something a bit stronger while these matches come to a conclusion. Now, Larry is 5-2 up in his match with Mark Shark. Mark Shark getting that 8 ball, I think. And then further down in round 2, Bankster is, what is that, 4-1 up now against Brainfill out. And now there's a little bit of jiggery pokery going on here. Well, that's no good. And it's no good from the point of view that where the 1 ball is, and look at where the 2 ball is, absolutely stone dead combo in the 9. Or an easy enough to twist it a bit to make the combo, because I think it's actually going to that point. And Romario didn't adjust very well there. I think if he'd slowed down a bit and given it a bit more care and attention, he would have got that combo. But as usual, he's always in a hurry to get things done. Good evening to Cobra. And that's not going to hit a rail, so that's that. Now we're getting the crazy stuff happening here. Stefan not hitting the rail. Gives Romario ball in hand. And, well, this is a make or break shot for Romario. Getting on to the 5. Decides to go down the right side, and that takes that 8 ball out of the equation. And obviously a wide open table. There is no way that Stefan should be getting back to the table. So, as I said earlier, I've got 1 more shift tomorrow. And that's me then off for a couple of weeks. This is no good. This is going to have to bounce this cue ball, because now he's going to have a dodgy cut in the 8 ball, and the cue ball is going to be running all over the place here. Well, he's played it softish, but look at where the cue ball's going. So I've got, I'll be able to watch the England game. And as a matter of fact, I go back to work 2 weeks' time on Sunday, and I believe that on Sunday night, or maybe the early hours of the morning Monday, that's when the World Cup final is. So I don't think I'll be seeing the World Cup final. It depends where it's being played and what the time zone difference is and when it starts. And that cue ball tucked up behind the 9. Romario having got it back to 4 apiece. Trying to get over onto that 3. He's almost got there. Got a good enough angle to get out. Missed that 6 ball.
Where's the cue ball going?
Tried to scratch the side pocket, but ends up perfect in the 5. Now, a bit more to do here with this cue ball to avoid a scratch. I don't know that the scratch was on, but it looked fine enough to me. But anyway, he's going to find himself in the lead in a second or two. There hasn't been any other update to XSplit. For those of you who have been here on recent streams, I've had problems with the replay functionality. The replay function is broken, is bugged. It causes XSplit to crash. So I've no intention of using it. I've actually I've disconnected it, so to speak, until I get an update from XSplit confirming that the thing's been fixed, and then I can do a test on it. And meanwhile, we're getting the good, the bad, and the ugly from Stefan, as usual. Likewise with Romario. But like I said at the beginning of this match, it's more likely that Romario is going to profit more. But no sooner do I say that than he overcuts that 1 ball by a mile. And I did say anything can happen in this match, and you just never know what's going to happen with this pair. Hot and cold, but Romario, as I said, probably more likely to blow a bit hotter than Stefan most of the time. But Stefan trying to stay in touch here. Now, this cue ball wants to come across towards the 8 ball. And he's got to hope he gets a shot in the 5. But with that 8 ball sitting there, and he's managed to stay well clear of it, and again, having a handicap of last 2, well, he could have played that better. It just means the cue ball's tracking a bit more, and then again, he's missed a sitter in the 6 ball thinking about the 8. And, don't say I didn't warn you, folks. You'll get any stupid stuff happening in this match. And we're now seeing the bad from Stefan. And again, that's just lack of care and attention on the shot. And I'm getting the blame of it. Well, 2 goes into the bottom right-hand corner. Cue ball's in the middle of the table. There might be a cut on the 1. I don't know whether you can see enough of it. The answer to that is no. So the push out has been called. Well, I mean, you could push over by the 5 ball, somewhere over that direction. I don't know that you're leaving a bank on. Let's have a look. Well, there is room for the bank, but of course, Stefan would have been handicapped by that 5 ball, and Stefan decided to give it back to Romario. Romario is going to maybe have a go at the bank. No. I don't know why Romario said, "You sure?" I think he was questioning Stefan's choice of giving it back to him. Well, this cue ball needs to run to get cover. I don't think it's getting there. And Romario now, well, he's trying to check up to avoid the 9, but I don't think he can avoid the 9 with that angle. And he's got, I don't know whether he can see enough of the cut. He might be able to get there, but he can certainly play the bank. Well, he wants to steer well clear of that 8 and 9 here. Well, he's got a little brush off the 7. He's fairly straight on this 5 ball. And he's running forward and out, and that's well done. And again, should be simple for Romario to stretch this lead. And Stefan's mistakes in the middle of this match are allowing Romario to take control of it. He's going to have a 3-rack lead, and Stefan does not have many racks to play with here. So Romario finishes off the rack, or rack 10 that is, and breaking off in rack 11. And Stefan needs to get his head screwed back on. And there's a result come through. Larry against Mark Sharp. Fairly comfortable win for Larry by the look of it, by 9 racks to 3. And that break from Romario was dry. Now Stefan has loads of room on this 2 ball to drop down for the 3. The problem is that 4 ball, it's going nowhere fast, and he's got to try somehow and get up above these balls to see the 4, whether he can play it long into the corner. This can hit the knuckle. Oh, in fact, it's scratched.
Where's the cue ball going?
That is a disaster. Ball in hand for Romario. And it's looking very likely here that Romario, in the next couple of minutes, will be breaking for the match. He's got loads of room to come around the corner onto this 6. In fact, he decided to play the draw. In actual fact, that bump in the 7 is probably the right idea there, because it's now wide open, a lot easier to get to. Not that it was that difficult in the first place, but it's wide open. And again, he's going to maybe just have to stun this a bit, jack up a bit to hold it.
Where's the cue ball going?
Cue ball stays in the table. 9 ball probably into the side. And that's how quickly matches can run away from you when you start doing careless stuff like Stefan did. And it's cost him a few racks, as a matter of fact. So, Romario on the hill. I think that is dry. I'm going to have a quick drink before the vocal cords start drying up. Well, if I was Vertigo Liquid, I would have gotten myself into a room and banged a few balls about just to keep myself warmed up. Because he's still going to have a little while to wait, because we've got another match yet before Vertigo Liquid is going to have an opponent. And Stefan at the table, I don't know that that's any good. Is he trying the little billiard onto the 9? Yes, he is. So it's worked out for him. He needs a few quick racks here. He's back to within 3, and he also needs a few favours on the break, and he hasn't got any, I don't think. Apart from the fact he's left it safe. The break being dry. Romario looking at the push out. See, the problem with a push out up the table is it leaves your opponent the option to try and bury you behind balls here. That's the problem. So Romario, at the end of the day, has actually he's not played a very good push out. I mean, he's given a free shot for Stefan, and I don't know that that's going to get there, is it? Well, it just got there. The line wasn't great in the pot, but now he has to take full advantage of Romario's terrible push out. And again, no sooner did I say that than Stefan misses not a difficult 2-ball. But the one thing he has done in his favour is he's tied up the 5 and 6. Yeah, 5 and 6 ball are dead. They're not anywhere near a combo. And Romario gets covered behind that line of balls. See, I would not have been kicking that from that angle. I would have been kicking from the short rail. And the reason is that you've got a chance of getting covered behind those balls if you kick the ball from behind. Having said that, Stefan didn't leave anything simple for Romario. And I don't know that he can see enough of that to pot it. That's a foul. Commentator's eye. That is a foul. So that could be Stefan's last shot in the tournament tonight, provided Romario can get good on this 4-ball. And that's perfect. And he'll stay up top above that. No, he hasn't, has he? He's still got an angle. Oh, yeah, he's still got a good angle. And he's got a good angle again. Now, he just needs to avoid the knuckle in the side pocket here coming up the left-hand side. He's avoided that. And again, it's all about angles. You know, he's got the angle just to come up the table for the 8 into the left side. In fact, he's actually playing it into the corner. And it'll be all over for Stefan. He was doing reason. No sooner did I say that than I've jinxed Romario. Well, if he'd done what I said and just played it soft enough to play it in the side, he might not have missed it. He decided to come up into the table, left himself a wee bit short, and Stefan has a lifeline provided. In fact, all he did need was that 8-ball, because I forgot his handicap there. He's getting last 2. And that mistake there from Romario could be very costly. But it will only be if Stefan can take full advantage. Well, the first thing he's done is he's got a ball in the break. Got a bit of a thin cut into the left side pocket. And he's overcut that by a country mile. And he's going to get second prize. And the cue ball's gone. He's getting help now from Romario. Romario's doing his best here to keep Stefan in this. The problem with Stefan is he just does not seem to me to be 100% focused. Or is he? Can he hold himself together to get to these last 2 and pinch another rack? Again, he just needs to maybe stun this in and hold the cue ball for the 6 into the right side. In fact, tell a lie, I forgot about the 5. Well, this is a worry because it's easy to hook yourself here if you don't play this right. Oh, I think I'd have been trying to get myself a wee bit closer to the 5 than this, but he has an angle to come across the table as long as he doesn't scratch. But everything is at very long distances here. Once again, he's got that angle in the 7-ball where the cue ball's going the other direction, away from the 8-ball. And again, he's just not got himself lined up and he's sold out. That should definitely be his last shot, because again, that was just a poor Stefan stroke there, not giving it due care and attention. And this cue ball definitely this time is high enough on the 8. And Romario will seal the deal here. So it's going to be a 9-6 win for Romario. And he marches on into round 2.
Welcome to VP4TV. We have live streams from all the major events in Virtual Pool 4 online. We also have live commentary on many matches where I am joined in the commentary booth by game developer Steve Chaplin. I am Tactical Genius aka 9ball.com aka Hugh.
Right, so now we have Romario playing Spectre Dawn in round 2. Liquid waiting in round 3 for the winner of it. Larry is 2-1 up against German Pot Machine. And Bankster is on the hill against Brainful Out. And we will jump into that to see if we can catch the end of it. Well, Brainful Out is still alive here. Brainful Out is getting last 2 as well. Well, you just want to get yourself off these rails. But anyway, all he had to do was pot the 8. Now, is this match all but over, or is Brainful Out got something to say about it? 2 ball goes in, 1 ball goes in. Cue ball in the middle of the table. He's on the 3. And just a roll through for the 4. Problem is the 5 ball. Because the 5 ball doesn't go past the 7. It obviously doesn't go into the side. And he's not exactly played the best shot in the world to get on this 4. In fact, that 4, let's be honest, it is far too tight to try and cut that in. But he's having a go at it. Yeah, well, the end result is he's set it up for Bankster. And Bankster's going to have the angle to get high enough up the table to have a shot at this 5. 6 is over the corner pocket, so no worry about getting on it. And Brainful Out may well have played his last shot in tonight's tournament. Oh, that bump in the 8 ball, though. That's a disaster. Because now this cue ball has to track up. Well, he's done it. He's got it up high enough. He's got it high enough. You just don't want to bump into balls if you don't have to. Because anything can be a good table until you get that bump at the wrong time and you can mess the table up completely. Well, we've seen the end of this match. Bankster, the most dangerous man with a handicap, but this time he's not the one with the handicap. But Bankster, too good in the end. He wins by 9 racks to 6. So now a quick update. That match with Romario and Spectre Dawn underway. Romario, I think from what I could... What is he getting? Is he getting a 6 ball or the 8 ball? He's getting a 6 ball, which is actually very generous for Romario. Romario is more than capable of making use of that. And that match with Larry and German Pot Machine. German Pot Machine, I think he's getting a 6 ball as well, is he? No, he's getting a 5 ball, which is very dangerous because Larry, as we've seen, is vulnerable. His consistency is letting him down. And German Pot Machine could take advantage of that. But I think we're going to jump into watch this match with Romario and Spectre Dawn. Where's my mouse went to? this round 2 match. Spectre Dawn at the table. Trails by 1. And he's gone just a wee bit dodgy in the 4. I think he's still... Well, he's got to watch the cue ball to have the shot in the 5. Coming back for the 5 into the side. And Romario has the same problem that everybody has against Spectre Dawn. When you let him win a rack, that's half your problem. The other big problem is that if he gets his break working, these racks can start counting up very quickly. So 1 rack all. Spectre Dawn has control of the table. Cue ball coming back. 8 ball went in. Well, the 3 ball has gone as well, but again, he's one of these middle of no man's land shots. The 1 cuts into the side. It cuts into the corner. Not quite sure what he's doing yet here. I don't know that the scratch is on into the corner. I think he can cut that if he just hits it plain ball, which basically because he's stuck to the well, he's trying to stun it in, and that's a great shot.
Where's the cue ball going?
That is an excellent shot. He jacked up to stun it in to avoid any chance of a scratch. Very well played. Well, I mean, he's got no fear in leaving these cuts like this. Cue ball's got the perfect angle to run the 2 rails across for the 5. And, well, Romario looks as if he's going to get a taste of this from Spectre Dawn here, because the inevitable is going to happen. It's going to be a 2-1 lead. And who knows how many, if he can get this break going. Didn't hear anything go. Break is dry. Well, Romario's got half a pocket. Goes into the far side. Lands nicely on the 2. That's almost too heavy, that. How's the 6 ball? Well, there you go. I mean, again, just a careless shot by Romario. Had a table wide open and a bit more care and attention, because if you know you're going to run 2 rails around the corner, you know that 6 ball's going to be interfered with play if you don't get it right. You know, this is what I keep going on about. You know, you've got to look at where the possible things are that can trip you up. And, you know, if you know that, then you have to take evasive action and make sure you don't fall into the trap. If you see the trap is there, then you must do something to avoid it. And there is a glaring opportunity there for Romario to get himself back in par, and all he's going to do is give up the rack for Spectre Dawn. You know, everything like that, mistakes like that are just going to be multiplied a lot bigger by somebody of the quality of Spectre Dawn, because, you know, that one mistake, how many more racks is that going to cost you? Well, I mean, if you want an example there, Liquid, then that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You know, when you're at the table with that shot that Romario had, you've got to ask yourself the question. First of all, you have to be aware of where the cue ball wants to go. And whether you think it can get there at such a pace where it's not going to be interfered with by that 6 ball. Romario over, I knew straight away, I knew immediately hit that ball, they'd hit it too hard, and that it was tracking towards that 6 ball. And the problem I've got with that is that Romario knew the bloody same thing, yet he still doesn't slow down. It's all about just taking that extra second to absorb the situation, program it into your head, and then play the right pace of shot. You know, don't forget, a minute or two ago, it should have been 2 apiece, right? And now, well, it's going to be a 3-8 combo here in a second or two. He wants to play this in such a way that he can hopefully keep the 3 ball there, because he has to. Well, see that now that shot there was perfect, because he was either going to play that to hopefully keep the 3 ball there, or play it in such a way that you get the cue ball out far enough should the 3 ball go in. So, you know, this is an example of a player covering all bases there. You know, and this is what I'm talking about, thinking about what you're doing. I keep going on about it. I keep going on about just think that bit more and ask yourself questions. You don't have to talk out loud, but just ask yourself the questions in your head while you're at the table. You know, where can this go wrong? What can I do? What stupid thing can I do here that will stop me from potting this next ball? And Romario didn't ask himself the question, because if he had done, he would have made sure he would never have hooked himself behind that 6. And look how many racks it's costing him. He's now 4-1 behind. That 1 ball tried to go into the side, but something else got in there. The 2's got in the other side, and
Where's the cue ball going?
the scratch in the corner. So here is a lifeline for Romario with ball in hand. And he has to get up high enough onto the 3 off this 1 ball. And he's overcooked that immediately. He's just overhit that slightly. So again, he's just got more work to do with the cue ball to get on the 5. Having to sneak round the back, avoids that. And once again, from this position, he should be getting his 2nd rack in the board, because, again, there's virtually nothing to do with the cue balls. 8 balls right in the middle of the table when he pots this 7. He doesn't want... Well, that was it. What am I thinking about? He's getting the 6 ball, wasn't he? I'd forgotten about the handicap, as I always do. And is he getting the follow-up? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. He's come up dry. And, of course, what happens when you come up dry against Spectre Dawn? You end up leaving him plumbing the 1 ball. Well, is he going to just stop this cue ball for the 4-9 combo? He's having a look. I mean, he needs to drop through, obviously. He can just roll this in if he wants to do that. I can't think any reason why he'd want to do anything different, but you never know with Spectre Dawn. He's had a look. I think the worry is the angle in the 3 ball. That changes the whole perspective on it. Until I looked at the angle in the 3, I mean, he'd have to avoid the scratch in the side here. It's a bit dodgy looking. Is he trying to just nick off the rail? He's just tried to nick off the rail, and I think he was trying to get there to play this long I don't think he was intended to play the combo. I think he was intended to get to about there. And he's just left himself short. So now I think he's still going to play it into the corner, but it's a wee bit more testy. But once again, just assess the situation, nails it right in the heart of the pocket, and perfect in the 5-ball. And then you wonder why he hasn't won one of these virtual 9-ball world championships. I mean, the guy is deadly most of the time. He is deadly. When he has a table, even a table that's tricky, you're still giving him odds-on favourite to get out. That's why he's tough to beat. Now, Romario couldn't have things more in his favour. I mean, he's getting 6-ball as his money ball, and I think that is very generous. But of course, you can't get to any 6-ball if you can't be at the table. And it's going to go to a 3-rack lead here, 5-2. But Romario is not out of it. I mean, he can easily turn this on its head if he can get to the table, that is, and if he can get a few of those 6-balls out the way. Well, I think the 5-ball, or was it a 3-ball? I think it was a 3-ball, was hanging up in that top right-hand corner pocket until the 8-ball pushed it in. Spectre Dawn right in the middle of no man's land again on this 1-ball. He's trying to blast it into the side, and it was a bit too thin. So now, how's his luck? Well, Romario is in a line where he can play the 1-9 combo. He's in a perfect line here to play this and nails it. And it goes. Well, that's what he needed. He needed a quick rack, and they don't come any quicker than that. So now can he get the follow-up? He needs a roll of the ball here to get right back into this. 4-ball goes into the right side. I think the 9-ball get pushed in, and it'll come back up and go onto the spot. And Romario stays at the table, and this time he is lying very good on that 1-ball. So now, when we look at this situation, we can see the 6-ball is clean available into that side pocket. So now this, for Romario, is either about leaving the long 5-ball just to hold the cue ball for the cut. So he's got to watch the line that he leaves here for this 5. You see, and straight away he's gone wrong. I mean, he's gone wrong. Look at the angle he's left. This should have been dead straight. And that forces him into having to do something with the cue ball. See, that was so sloppy and careless again from Romario. And a table that was his. And he's done the cardinal sin there by letting Spectre Dawn back at the table. Okay, the 5-ball's dead in that pocket. And he's just taking his medicine and leaving the long cut in the 6. But Romario more than likely is going to pay the price for, again, just carelessness. He had to get himself as straight as he could on that 5-ball. So it was just a little drawback for the 6 into the side. And he got himself out of line. And then has to do acrobatics with the cue ball. And the end result is he misses a shot. And Spectre
Where's the
Dawn
cue ball going?
is trying to scratch here. And there's a lifeline again. Romario's second lifeline in this rack. And of course, now that money ball has gone, so he's got to pot these 3 balls. Now, was that legal? Oh, it was, because he just banked to 6. I thought it was maybe a foul there, but no, it went clean. And the cue ball gets pushed in. Would you believe
Where's
it?
the cue ball going?
And no sooner does he get a break and gets it back to 5-4, that this time the 1-ball get pushed into the pocket. And Spectre Dawn, ball in hand, 1 ball in the middle of the table. Well, he's actually gone just a bit on the far side for this 2-ball. And look at where the 3 is. I mean, the 3 does cut. But he's going to have to work the cue ball probably through the gap. And that is about as good as he could have played that shot. He's got the high cut on the 3 ball. He's got nothing to do to get onto the 5. The 5 ball is very adjacent. Now, for any latecomers who weren't here earlier on, just a quick reminder, I have got one more shift at work tomorrow and then I'm off for the next 2 weeks. There are matches over the weekend in the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship, and I will certainly be able to do them, as well as whether One Pocket Slim
Where's
is
the
going to
cue
be
ball
available.
going?
Well, there's another cue ball mistake by Spectre Dawn. Now, if ever you're going to get lifelines here, Spectre Dawn is handing them out here. This is the most mistake Spectre Dawn has made in a match that I've seen in a while. I think he's scratched twice so far tonight. And Romario somehow is back to 5 apiece here. Yeah, so keep your eye out over the weekend, because there are some decent enough matches on the schedule. And I'll be kicking around. There's a couple, I think, is it Sunday night, that will clash one way or another. So I just have to see whether Slim's going to be around if he wants to do one of them. And meanwhile, back to business here. Spectre Dawn trying to redeem himself after that last scratch. And again, you know, as an opponent to Spectre Dawn, you look at this table, you see where he's sitting, you're thinking, well, I'm not getting back to the table here. He's got absolutely nothing to do with the cue ball other than just get it out into the table, have a shot in the 5, hold the cue ball for the 6 on the side. Well, again, he's just gone a wee bit too far. He would have liked this to have been straighter, but I think he might just bump out the back end of the 7. Well, he's hit the 7 and pushed it out of the way, so that'll still do. But again, he's the wrong angle in the 6. Now, if he just goes 3 rails, he's going to come out into the table. He'll maybe have cut down the rail. Well, he's stunned it and brought it into play and took out the extra rails. But he still would have been in a similar position had he went the 3 rails. Maybe he was worried about actually bumping into the 7. But either way, it'll work. So Spectre Dawn is going to get himself back into the lead. And looking for a chance to kill this match off if he can get the break working again. Well, did I hear anything go there? I don't think I did. No, it's dry. Romario's got a cut in the 1 past the 7. 2 ball into the side. Now, that angle's just slightly the wrong way. He might just drop it in dead weight and leave the cut, which he has done. That's a sensible thing to do. Now, he just has to come out into the table, whether he wants to come far enough down or just stay up there. But again, his focus was on getting out onto the 4. He's again made the cardinal sin. He's forgot the initial pot. And you just cannot afford to make these unforced errors like Romario is doing now. There's a result for Larry. I don't know why people don't end a match the proper way in these tournaments. You've seen people ending up forfeiting. They should end the match properly. I don't know what the hell German pot machine's doing, but that's 2 forfeits we've had in matches where players have been, 2 players have been here in matches, but somehow they're ending up forfeiting. I mean, okay, German pot machine. Did he not have a hefty handicap as well? I mean, he had the 5 ball against Larry. Got to ask yourself a few questions, German pot machine, if you're doing stuff like that. Anyway, Spectre Dawn is going to open up the gap again here. Gap goes to 7-5. And rack number 13, I think, is dry again. Although Romario does not have a shot. Well, you can try kicking the rail and catching the edge of that to cut it in. You can go for the kick from behind the 5 and 9. And that was actually almost a very good shot there. That must have missed that by a margin. Just to catch the edge of that one to push it in. In fact, see where it's sitting? It's probably in the ugly spot. It could have even just caught that point there and not gone in. But either way, it is ball in hand for Spectre Dawn. It's going to be a 2-6 combo. And once again, he has to make sure that he can still see the 3 if this 2 ball follows the 6 in. Because that 5 and 9 can end up in blockers. Well, the 2 ball has come out of there. And, well, he's got no shot. So once again, Romario lives again. He's going to get back to the table, I think. That 2 ball will kick in, believe it or not. I mean, it's a tall order. And he probably have to straighten the cue ball up with a bit of check here to miss that 5 ball and actually hit the 2 doing that. So, yeah, I mean, he would probably have to use the rail as well. The long rail on the side, that's tough enough. Now he's going to try the jump shot. Now he's got to try and keep the cue ball on the table. Oh, he's played the cut. What a shot. What a shot. And the banks are open into that top left-hand corner. Cue ball will be heading in the right direction for a shot in the 4. Or is he going to run for cover? It'd be unusual to say that Spectre Dawn was going to do that. He's gone all out for the bank. Cue ball runs into the 4. Well, can he hit this hard enough to cut that? Because this cue ball wants to scratch every day of the week here. I don't know whether he's got enough room to cut that, catch the point, and avoid the scratch. No, he doesn't. He doesn't think so either. So he's just trying to play a safety. Now I know if Steve was here, he would say that's no good because the bank is available there for Romario. He's going to have to make the bank though, and he's misjudged it. Now is he going to get cover? No, he isn't. So just a glimmer of hope there for Romario, but as it is, unless Spectre Dawn hooks himself behind the 9, he's going to be breaking for the match in about the next 60 seconds or so. And that was a testy pot in the 4. So once again, Romario has a lifeline. Now it's going to be the big VP4 escape route here, I think, to try and get down below this 5 ball. No, he's decided that he's going to take his medicine and leave the cut. Now, is he going to regret it or is he going to pot it? He's going to pot it, but he's left himself way short in the 7. It's a bedhead cut, basically to stay alive, I think. In goes the cut. Now, how about the bump in the 8? Well, he's avoided the bump in the 8 and he's sitting plumb on it. So, with the 6 ball gone, he has to pot the 8 and the 9. And he'll be back to within 1 with the break. The match ain't over yet. Oh, I think he's dry again. I think he's dry. And again, what's the worst case scenario when you come up dry against Spectre? Well, against anybody, but Spectre Don especially. He's got a wide open table. He's got a cut in the 1 into the side. He's just dropping up the top side of the 2, letting the cue ball go where it wanted to go. And he may well just roll through far enough to play this 3 into the other corner. Now, I think he's going to leave himself short here and play the high cut in the 4. I don't think he wants... He could run up to the rail. Well, he is running up to the rail, which is a bit of a surprise, but there was loads of room. You would find it very unlikely he was going to hook himself, but he's actually got a nice little angle just to push forward and use the spin just to nick out for the 5. So, I suppose the only tricky shot here is the 7 to the 8. And the reason I say that is it just depends what line you leave yourself on the 7. Now, if you leave yourself straight enough, you're just playing a straight draw. Back up behind the 9 for the 7. The 8, not the 7. And I think he's fine. I think he can just nick this if he wants to. Got to avoid that knuckle in the side pocket. And he's avoided that. And he's got a nice little angle in the 8 where he can just go forward and spin out that side. The 9 into the other corner. He actually just stunned it out rather than running the rail, but he's fine. And he's now going to be breaking for the match. Oh, again, I don't see anything rushing to a pocket. It's dry, and it is definitely last chance saloon for Romario. This time, Romario has a shot in the 1, but how can he control this cue ball to have a shot in the 2? Well, if he pots the 1 and just lets the cue ball come across, he'll have a shot in the 2. But the danger here is finishing below the 7. If you do that, you're hooked. Well, he's left it short of the 7. Has he gone far enough? I think he can squeeze the pot out of this 2 ball. And he's looking to see if the 3 gets past the 7, but let's have a look at what he's done here. Yeah, he's left it awkward, but it does go past the 7. And he's going to catch some of this 5 ball, I think. And that's held him for the 4. That's very well done. Now, can he see this through and stay alive? Well, again, he's got more work to do with this cue ball here because that side pocket's in play. Now, if he just comes across square and above the side pocket, he'll have a cut. And that's actually a lot better played, apart from the fact he's dead straight. Now, he's got to leave this short. He's got to leave this short like there and not do that. Oh, tell a lie, I've done it again. I forgot with the bloody handicap again. It's that time of night. it's that time of night, folks. The brain is gone. I'm forgetting he's getting a 6 ball. But he's 1 behind, needs a ball and a shot, and he's not getting either. And, of course, it's once again plumbing the 1. And, well, the 2 ball is far from easy. He's got to get right over this side, or he's got to manufacture something from the top side there on the short rail to get behind it. And that bump in the 6, I think, has done him a huge favour because that's just run all the pace out the cue ball. And not only that, he's got a gap to stun out for the 3. Well, the gap is there. I'm pretty certain he can avoid the 8 ball. Well, he's had a proper blast at that. I mean, that wasn't all that controlled. Would you say that watching that shot there? I'd love the replay to be working. That was a terrible effort there from Spectre Dawn. I think he could have controlled that a lot better. Anyway, either way, it is last chance saloon again for Romario for the second time to try and take this all the way.
Where's the cue ball going?
Well, the check has taken it below the pocket. Problem is he's nailed to the jaw, but he's got no problem getting in the 5. I mean, the 5's wide open, as is the 6. He only has to pot 3 balls here. And he's going to be hampered, I think, slightly. He might be okay. So now this is just about seeing the 6 ball and not scratching on the side. And somehow or other, Romario is going to be breaking for the match. You'd never have thought that 15 minutes ago. It's about time he got a ball and a shot here, because I don't think he's had anything on his follow-up break. And I don't think he's going to get anything again on the last one in the match. Oh, that 9 ball. Not the 9 ball, the 1 ball. It's a 1 ball. Has he got enough cover on it? Can he see? I think he can see the edge to cut that. It looks... it's off the rail. Now, does Spectre Dawn duck for cover, or does he go all out for the cut in the 2? Can this player resist from going all out and play a safety, or is he just going to go the usual route, all out, all or nothing? Well, there's your answer. It's all out. Now, this needs to bounce because he's short and pace in this 3 ball. Well, this is the make or break shot. Could be the match winning shot here, this 3 ball. It does cut. The cue ball's running loose. It could run into the 5. Anything can happen. Well, he's went for it. He went for it into the side, and he may well have played his last shot. Well, that's gone dead straight, though. It's finished dead straight in the rail. And Romario has to judge the pace and the draw in this 3 ball here. He's played the big stun draw. Well, that's the ideal example there of the stun draw, where he blasted that. And again, it's all about Q-tip positioning, because he hit it hard, but it controlled the draw and killed the draw. Now, again, when it needed the pot, he's missed the 5. And, well, if Arnie was here, I know what he'd be saying, because Romario most certainly has played his last shot this week in Friday Night 9 ball. Vertical Liquid says drama in the chat, so I'll read that in a minute. Whatever's happening out there. I don't know how long ago you typed that, but I'm sure it'll still be there when I get to the lobby. This cue ball just needs to get up the table. Well, again, it's about, not only making the cut, but judging the pace in the cue ball to come out into the table for this 8 and get a decent line on it. Let's have a look at what he's got. Well, that should be good enough. I mean, you can go forward and just come down the right side here. And he's well away from the scratch. And that is it, folks. Spectre Dawn marches on. And the bad news for Vertical Liquid is Spectre Dawn is coming. It's a 9-8 win. But it could have been oh so different there for Mario if he'd potted that 5-ball. But there you go. What's happening here in the lobby? What we're reading here. After you tell me I should... What himself? He quit. I mean, that's what Larry... I mean, that's what I was talking about that earlier. Why are we having a forfeit? And Larry says he quit. Well, Larry was in that last 9-ball. And, of course, Larry would be annoyed about it. Made Bankster wait 5 minutes than need be. And Larry tells him to go F himself after he was rude to him. I don't know what the hell German pot machine's talking about. Why you don't forfeit when I lose 19 ones and against GPS? Yeah, well, I think there's a language barrier there. That's all I'm saying about that. Anyway, more important matters. Vertigo Liquid is getting a handful of handicap against Spectre Dawn. He's getting... What's he getting? He's getting 6 and out, so he is. But the problem is Liquid going to be good enough to get to the 6-ball? That's a tough ask there. Well, I know the match I'm going to be watching is going to be Larry against Bankster, the most dangerous player with a handicap in VP4. But it looks as if it's scratch tonight. It looks very much like it's scratch. It certainly is. Larry with a 4-3 lead at the table. Or I thought Larry was at the table. Did I see that wrong there when I came into the room? Maybe I did. I don't know what's happening at this time of night. It's 25 minutes past 9. My brain went to bed an hour ago. Bankster just has to get this cue ball around the corner and out. Well, again, mistakes are made when you're trying to do 2 things at the one time, apparently. That is pot a ball and manoeuvre the cue ball to get on the 6. Well, Bankster managed to get on the 6 but forgot about the 5. Because he was tweaking the cue ball with English. It's made him miss the 5-ball. And Larry is... well, I think he's okay, but he could have done with slowing up a bit there. But he's got the shot in the 6. And he should, I say should, have a 2-rack lead. Well, he's making hard work of this because where he's finishing this 8-ball, I mean, he's just going to cut it in and let it run. Anywhere out into the table of the cut and the 9. And there you go, he's missed the 8-ball. And just because he just got himself slightly out of line in the 8. And that's what I'm saying about Larry. There's, all of that's crept into his game. Forget about the fact he's using a trackball mouse. I think there's just the obvious signs that wear and tear and age is catching up with Larry because he never made this amount of errors in times gone by. It's just the old sign of wear and tear. The concentration goes. And he was just slightly out of line on that 8-ball. And with that wee bit more to do, it caused the mistake. And Bankster got let off the hook. But I think Larry's, I think something like his blood might be boiling, might have something to do with it as well. I think Larry's older than me. I'm making a guess that he's older than me. I mean, I'll be 62 in August. August the 18th, that is, if you want to get me a birthday card. I mean, there might not be that many older people than us in this game online. But Larry, well, I don't know what he tried to do there. I mean, presumably he just wanted to get some sort of shot on the 3-7 combo. I thought he wanted to get out a wee bit more, but anyway, the combo looks reasonable enough, but he's overdone it. He's actually overdone it. I think he was adjusting the line there slightly, and it's made him miss the combo. But he's got more or less second prize here. He's left the edge on this. Well, this guy better not be coming into this room to stir any shit, by the way. Bankster has got the perfect touch on that 3-ball. That's an excellent safety. I mean, everything about it was perfect. He's got the perfect hit in the 3. He's killed it in the short rail. The cue ball has took the line right down behind the 7 and 8, and he's nailed Larry to the short rail. Larry's got the hit. How's his luck? Well, put it this way, it could have finished a lot better than this for Bankster. But the cut is on into the side.
Where's the cue ball going?
Cue ball, though, look at where it's going. It's gone south into the side pocket, and Larry's back at the table. Well, again, Larry just needs to get a slight angle on this 5-ball, only a slight one, just like that. And it's a little dink and a little nudge out, but not too far. Because what he wants to do is go 2 rails and out and avoid the 9-ball and get on that 8-ball into the same pocket. So this is, sort of let the cue ball go where it wants to go. Avoid the 9. And, well, this is about making a decision as to where this 9-ball is going to go. It can go in a number of places here, depending on what he decides he's doing. But the simple shot is just drop round the corner for the 9 into the side. But he's trying to come around 3 rails, or 2 rails to get onto the 9 into the corner, and that'll do it. That'll do it. So Larry takes the lead again. And, well, whatever ball that was top side in the top left-hand corner, it finally dropped. That was a 3-ball. And Larry's got the thin cut in the 1. And he's going to have a cut as well on this 2-ball. He's judged the pace in that well enough.
Where's the cue ball going?
The cue ball, well, it tried its best there to drop into the side, but it stays in the table. He's got a nice angle in the 2. That's all you want, just a nice angle. Now, again, he wants that nice little angle where he can just stun the 4 in and bump that cue ball off the rail and out. And he wants to get out far enough. He doesn't want to be using multiple rails here if he can help it. He wants to use 1 rail to come off the short rail and back down for this 6-8 combo. This is actually critical. He gets the right shot here. Now, you see, he's ended up dead straight. So thereby lies the problem. Is he going to try and judge the draw down to the short side? I think he is. Well, no, he's going the VP4 escape route, and I think, well, he got a bump. This will cut, but the cue ball is going all over the place. Keep your eye in every pocket here, folks. Well, he's trying to drag all the pace off that cue ball to leave himself half a chance at the combo. It's not bad. I mean, he'd need to play this really bad for this 8-ball not to go in. And the 7 stays in the table. All is good. And he's going to have a 2-rack gap. That was well done. A ball on the break, but that nudge there has just locked up the 1 ball. And this is tricky to play a safety. I mean, you could try a feather edge of the 1 and drop round behind the 7 and 6. But you're just pushing the 1 ball into the middle of the table. I think that's what Larry's trying here. And I think he's got it. He's got one of them in behind the 6. That'll do. That's what I would have played. I mean, it was the most obvious shot. The only thing was it was vital that you got cover behind one of those balls because you were always going to leave the 1 in the middle of the table. But there's enough room to play the jump shot. And Baxter bumps, he grazes the 1 ball, but the next thing you know, he's billiarded the 3 ball in, and he's also got a bank in the 1 as well. Oh no, he hasn't. There's a surprise. I thought Baxter would have went all out there. He turns it down. Well, we could have this pity pat stuff going on, but Larry's not interested. He's just trying to get distance between the cue ball and the object ball. He's just left it a wee bit short with the cue ball, but he wasn't leaving anything simple for Baxter. And Baxter has left the 1 ball short, so here's Larry's chance. I mean, again, this is not going to be difficult. Cue ball is heading in the right direction for that 4 ball in the middle of the table. Again, he's just overcooked that slightly. You see that it is all about angles, but you don't want too much angle. So now he's got to do more with the cue ball. He's got to avoid running into the 7. He's got to avoid hooking himself behind the 9. And there you go. That's how easy it is to get us in trouble. But of course, this isn't the virtual 9-ball World Championships because in that tournament, you don't have a jump stick. Larry can bail himself out here, but where's the cue ball going to go? And the answer is where it wants to go, up the table. And now he's got a bedhead cut, and this 7 ball, I'm going to say it doesn't bank. There's very little room to bank that 7. So it's a bedhead cut, and it hangs up. And Larry has given Baxter his lifeline. Now he's got to use just a wee bit of the rail here just to roll off the 7 and come out. Play that 9 either into the side or into that top left-hand corner. And he's done neither. Again, I don't know. I have no idea why Baxter played that as heavy as he did and why he did. Again, you know what I was talking about earlier, folks, about seeing the shot and getting the pace right. He's hit that like a sledgehammer. That was a terrible shot. All he had to do was graze the rail, catch the 7 and come out and play it at the right pace. And you're on a simple roll-in up into the corner. And he made a complete hash of it. And again, you have to put it down to the fact he just didn't focus on the job in hand. And there's a big 2-rack swing there. You know, it should have been back to within 1, and suddenly he's trailing by 3. And on the threshold of going home here, because if Larry gets a ball and a shot here, well, he's got a ball. He's going to have a cut into the corner, a little draggy draw shot to sneak down behind the 8. This is a little draggy draw shot. A little jab to go through with a stroke, and he's played it perfect. Problem is, look at the 3 ball. But if Larry gets the cue ball out far enough, he can nail Bankster. Well, has he tried for a bump? Oh, look at the graze he's had in the 3 ball. Has it grazed it far enough? Yes, it has. I'm not 100% certain he played that, but the graze has just done enough. And now Larry can go for the kill and get himself on the hill. Romario says England-Mexico rescheduled for 7 p.m. Sunday. You're winding me up. It was 1 a.m. in the morning our time. Why has it been rescheduled? Is it did the English FA say anything about it? You've got to give us the full story, or are you just pulling our chain? I mean, okay, I've got no complaints. What FIFA decided. Now, I would ask the question, cause of the weather, what is it to be... Now, where the hell's the match been played again? Mexico City, isn't it? So, they're about, I would suggest they're still East Coast 5 hours behind us. So if they're 5 hours behind us, then it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're kicking off. Larry's now breaking for the match. Oh, I'm going to have to read that on the BBC Sports site. To suit European TV, well, I mean, I think we all accept that. I mean, it's not. It's a fair move if they have done it. That's fine. They'll get a much bigger audience on ITV or BBC, whatever the hell channel it's on, and I'll be able to keep my eyes open to actually watch it. Well, anyway, we're back to business here. Larry, well, he broke for the match, and obviously he came up dry and didn't leave a shot on for Bankster. Well, Larry has played the thin cut in the 1, and, well, it was never going to work out that he was going to have a shot in the 2 playing it at that pace, because now he's in trouble. He's having to play a jump over the edge of the 5 to get a hit in the 2. Now he has to get lucky. Well, he's not left anything simple for Bankster. A blind pocket cut. The only saving grace here for Bankster is if he gets the pot in the 2, the 3 ball is wide open. All that acreage round about it. If he misses the bump in the 3, he'll be good. And then, of course, look at where the 4 is. Good luck getting a shot in the 4. But don't hook yourself in the 4. That's the golden rule here. He's got a very slight angle in this 3 ball. He can juice this up big time just to get below the 4 and have a shot of some description. And he's going to get there. Now the question is, can he come up with a decent safety here? And the first and foremost thing is he has to get a ball to rail, which he has done. But I think he's got cover. Well, this could get kicked in, though. Well, Larry caught the top side of the 4. But the outcome is not too bad. But I feel now that Bankster has got to go for the bank. I think with where the 5 ball's sitting, he's got to have a go at this. Now, Got to have a go at it. Looks as if he's not, though, the way he's lining up. No, he isn't. He's trying to duck for cover. But he hasn't got it. Well, one more good shot from Larry here. He'll be guaranteed to be on the 5. He might have to then get into the table to manufacture this 6-9 combo. So one more good shot from Larry, and it could be all over. Well, he's done the first part. Now he has to make the decision. Now he's got plenty of room to come out into the table. In fact, he may well just check there's something coming down through the gap for the 6-9. No, he's trying for a bump. He's bumped to 9. Well, he's given himself half a chance. But this is tricky at this angle. But he has to get the pace. That's gone too soon to the rail. But he's going to get second prize again. Now, Bankster, is he going to try the crossover? Yes, he is. My voice is beginning to crack. He's trying the crossover. He's got to miss the... Oh, no, he isn't. He's trying to get to the short rail. Well, I suppose you could say that's safe. Larry certainly doesn't want to push the 6 ball down towards the 9, but Larry's tried the billiard, and that'll work very nicely. Excellent shot. And it's game over. And Larry wins, in the end, fairly comfortably by 9 racks to 4.
Welcome to VP4TV. We have live streams from all the major events in Virtual Pool 4 online. We also have live commentary on many matches where I am joined in the commentary booth by game developer Steve Chaplin. I am Tactical Genius aka 9ball.com aka Hugh.
Well, Larry's in the final. Spectre Dawn has a 5 racks to 3 lead against Vertical Liquid to see who's going to meet Larry in the final. And Vertical Liquid getting 6 and out. Now, here's a table that is far from easy, and these are tables that Spectre Dawn has proved time and time again that he's very good at negotiating. Now, look at where the 5 ball's sitting, and look at where the 4 ball's sitting. And then when you look at what pockets are available, the 9's blocking up top.
Where's the cue ball going?
I think he's decided he's going to try and duck for cover here. That was about all he could do. And, well, Liquid has got loads of room to play the jump shot. Australia, Egypt has gone to penalties. Or it's going to penalties. I mean, when you think about it, you know, most of these teams, we would class them as numpty teams, but you've got to laugh when you consider that Scotland's, you know, long gone home. You know, the best chance they ever had of getting through to the knockout stages, and they still couldn't do it with 48 teams in the World Cup. But our World Cup was actually qualifying and beating Denmark the way we did to get there. That was it. You know, I mean, I didn't expect anything different from what's happened in the past. This is going to go too low. This cue ball. Well, again, is Liquid thinking about what he's doing here? He's got to keep this safe. He's gone all out for the bank, and he's got the bank, and in goes the 6, and that's one of his money balls, and he's back to within 1. Well, the bank was too much to resist, but he got it. I think something went in. I'm not too sure. It might have been the 3 ball. It is the 3 ball. Well, he's got sort of half a shot in the 1 ball. It's dodgy either way. Trying to thin cut that into the side. But that looks like what he's doing. But watch the scratch. Oh, he's went the other way into the corner. Well, it's hung up. And he gave himself a decent cut shot on the 2, but Spectre Dawn trying to get there. He's left himself short now. He can certainly put Liquid in a lot of trouble here. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you can tuck this cue ball away behind the 6 and 7 and 9 here. But remember, the fact that there's jump cues in the tournament here, he's got to get this tight. But it looks as if he's made his mind up. He's going all out for the cut. Now, it's always dangerous, you know, to leave an opponent who's getting 6 and out a go at the table. But he's got away with it because he's got cover. Well, trying a Massey shot. This is either going to work or it'll be nowhere near it. Well, he's got the hit. Now he needs this 2 ball to run, but it hasn't. It hasn't. So Spectre Dawn. Well, he should be adding to his rack count here in a second. The 7 ball goes past the 9. Now, it all depends on what angle he has on this 6 ball as whether he's going to be able to manoeuvre to get there. He's left it short a bit, but he should still be okay here. He'll maybe need a wee bit of help in left English, just that when it hits the rail, it's coming that direction. There is a danger of the scratch. Well, he's left it short. You see, he's left it short. That's why he ran into the 8 ball. And now, well, this is tricky to keep safe. And he's played a foul. He's actually he's rubbed the 9 ball. In fact, tell a lie, he hasn't hit a rail. I thought he'd rubbed the 9 ball. So there's a gift and a half. Now, what the hell is Liquid doing? I thought, why did he go behind that ball there? I was thinking, why is he trying to run it past the side pocket? Get it in the corner pocket out of the way and get it back to 5 apiece. Well, there's a mistake by Spectre Dawn. Trying the little touchy shot. Doesn't get the ball to a rail, and a wide open gift there for Vertical Liquid. Well, a couple of balls have gone in the break, but he's not got the shot on the 1. And this is also very tricky to play any push out. I think, well, he's trying to jump over the edge of this 5, but this is a bit of a distance. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Oh, that ball has done everything but drop. That 1 ball has done everything but drop. Well, there is a very tight line to get to that 1 ball. And I'll tell you why, because you're going to have to go left side of the 5 with a bit of English, and then you've got to find the gap. And this is very tricky. And if you get to the gap, you've got to get to the rail at the right line because you're going to hit that 8 ball. This is tough. A very testy shot here. He needs that English. And again, that was the problem. The 8 ball was very much in play. But there was nothing really more that Spectre Dawn could do to try and get there. Very difficult to judge. Well, this is where you've got to take full advantage. You've got ball in hand, and straight away there's a problem. There's a decision to be made here because the 6 ball interferes with play if you're trying to get that into the side. The 8 ball interferes with play if you're trying to cut the 4 past the 8 because that's far too tight. So the other solution is to get above the 4 to play it long into a corner pocket. Well, he's made the choice of trying to get across, and suddenly this shot is very difficult because, again, the 8 ball will jump out and grab that 4 ball. Oh, he's played it perfect, though. How's his luck, though? He's rubbed the 6. He has rubbed the 6 ball. And again, he's going to have to jump over the edge of this 6. But it's highly likely he's not going to have much a shot on the 6 ball, but he's going to need that 6 because that's the start of his money balls. Now, is the 5 going to go safe? Of course it isn't. And that'll be the chance gone. And Spectre Dawn will be back in the lead. Well, it's well, this is why I stopped doing Friday night 9 ball when we had double elimination, because very often you were coming to 10 o'clock at night, we were still nowhere near the final, or still a match to go before there was a final. So where we are now, it's gone 10 to 10, well past my bedtime. And we are far from done here yet in this match, and we've still got the final to play. So Spectre Dawn has regained the lead. However, he's come up dry. And Liquid has no idea what he was doing there. And it ended in complete disaster.
Going?
Now, he should have played the push out there, which he needed to do, rather than do that. Because that was a no idea shot there. And all he's done is said, help yourself, Spectre Dawn. You've got to get hold of a situation, and he could only see a fraction of the 1 ball for a start. Ends up just pushing the 1 ball into the table and then scratching the side pocket. An absolute nothing shot where it was crying out for a push out. As Steve says, push out to a kick, push out to an edge, but don't do something daft like that, especially against Spectre Dawn. Well, this has gone far too straight, this 6 ball, but he's just going to play a straight draw up the rail, avoid that side pocket knuckle, I would think, and leave the cut. You see, he's just caught the bottom knuckle, but he's perfect. Now, what angle's he got? Well, he's got a good angle. He's got right up the table. Or if he leaves it short, he's going to leave a cut into the side. I can't believe he'd want to try and get into that spot. But you never know with Spectre Dawn. The safe route is to get yourself high enough up the table, and that'll do nicely. Well, he's almost there on it. Again, he's just got to control this cue ball properly. round the back of the 9 for the 9 into the side, and he'll have a 2-rack gap. Well, what's happening in the penalties then? I think that was a 5 ball that's went in. Was that the 9 ball that's went as well? Yes, it was. In fact, the 8 ball went in. That's come up because that's Vertical Liquid's money balls. And also the 6 ball, the 5 ball went in, which stays down. And Spectatron's again in the middle of no man's land here for a shot in the 1. It pots into both corner pockets clearly. Well, he's chosen the left again, right into the heart of the pocket. Cue ball comes around, and again he's sitting plumb on this 2 ball. But of course, we all know that Spectatron needs both of these balls, and they're both nailed together. So he's going to have to get a bump. The problem with having to get a bump is that look where he is with the 7 ball. If that 6 ball was sitting any easier somewhere, it would have been good to play a bump onto the 8 and 9 and still have a shot in the 6. But you can't do that because the 6 is more or less blocked by that 7 into the corner. Because if you're going to take any sort of risk like that now, you've got to get really lucky to have a shot in the 6. Well, he's went for the bump, but, it was only ever going to end up like that. He's now looking at no shot in the 6 past the 7. He's trying to play for cover behind the 7. He hasn't got it tight, but again, there's enough room to jump, but the problem is the 6 is too close, so you can't jump that and get any result out of it, I don't think. I think you've got to have a kick at that, and I think you've got to kick at it from this side because there's a chance you might knock it in. I don't know about kicking it from the short side, but I much prefer having a go there. And I don't know why he's not even looking at that rail. I have no idea why he's not looking at that rail, because that's the one for me where you've got a fair chance that you might knock it in. Well, what do I know about jump shots? That's an excellent shot from Liquid. He has called my bluff there 100%, because of course that was a money ball as well. What a shot. I didn't think that cue ball could not only go over the ball but stay in the table. I thought it was more than likely going to jump over the object ball, but he nailed it perfect. Hats off to him for that. So he's back to within 1, but he has a ball in the break but no shot. Now again, looking for a push out. Well, it's got to be said, that's terrible, because he's just stuck the cue ball right behind the 1. It's dead straight into that corner pocket. You could get a bus past that 6 ball, and he just has to stop the cue ball for the 2. Well, he's spinning out round the corner, but once again, a very, very poor choice of push out from Vertical Liquid. I think Cobra's gone to bed because he hasn't given me an update on the penalties as to what's happening. I'll find out on the BBC Sports website before I go to bed. Well, is that going to be Vertical Liquid's last shot in the tournament? Because Spectre Dawn, when he's cleared these, he'll be on the hill and he'll be breaking for the match. Looking dry. Well, I think it's going to have to be over the edge of the 4. He'll definitely be able to jump that. Now, how much pace is this cue ball going to have in it by the time it gets to that 1 ball? Well, quite a lot of pace, as a matter of fact. Well, again, you know, there's a cut on up the rail, and I think Vertical Liquid's made his mind up. Because if he cuts this in, he's going to have a shot in the 3 ball. Somehow or other, he'll have a shot in the 3, or he should have. Oh, he's came the top side of the 3. Well, he's still got a shot. Not as planned, but he does have a shot. And once again, he's got nothing to do to get in the 4 ball. The 4 ball's wide open. He just needs to roll this 3 in. He doesn't need to do a great amount with the cue ball. Didn't want to stick it in the rail though, but again, nothing to do. Drop the 4 in, you're on the 5, and then the only worry you would have is there's not a lot of choices to where the 6 ball's going. It doesn't go past the 7. Now, he could play a little stunt and go to the rail, and well, the 6 ball doesn't go into the side either. So it doesn't go up into either corner past the 7 or the 9. This is tricky. I mean, the only other place you'd want to go is that side to play it into that corner. Oh dear, he could have done with a rub on that 9 ball. Now, unless he gets a roll here, well, he thinks he can make the jump again, but I never thought he could do it the last time, but this looks far too close to me. Because the last one, I thought he would jump over the object ball as well, and we'll see what he does here. Well, he almost done it. He almost done it. And he lives again because he's left it reasonably safe. Now, surely Spectre Dawn's not going to try and cut this down this rail. Again, you just never know what he's going to do. No, he's trying to keep it safe. Has he hit that too hard? Oh, well, he's got the cover. The problem is that if you go to the rail and chip this, I don't think you're cutting it in. I mean, I think you're pushing this to the knuckle and pushing it that way. He's got to get a feather edge touch in this 6 ball for it to have any chance to go in, I think. Well, he got the feather edge, and I mean, it was only ever going to end up going to the point. And that, I'm afraid, should definitely be Liquid's last shot this week. Well, he's done well getting to the semi-final. And Spectre Dawn doing his best to try and scratch the opposite side pocket. And where that 9 ball's sitting, he's got to get well away from that. To such an extent, he's gone totally dead on the 8 ball. What a shot that is. Well, is he going for the bank? Don't pack your cue stick away yet, Vertical Liquid. Well, that isn't too bad, but he's got to go for the bank. I mean, the bank is on, but you've got to line it up, though. And he's got to go for it. Loads of room to play the bank. I think when you're in this situation and you're thinking that the match should have been over, you cannot refuse to have a go at the bank. The cue ball should be coming around and into the table. You don't need the 9. Remember that this is a money ball, and he's nailed it.
Where's the cue ball going?
And the cue ball stays in the table, and he's back to within 1. What a mistake by Spectre Dawn, landed on top of the 8 ball. And Liquid's broke. A ball has gone into the side pocket. He's got a shot on the one. In fact, it was the two balls going into the side pocket. A shot in the one. And he just needs to drop through a few inches. Well, he needs to drop through maybe a bit more because he wants to get reasonably good in this 3-ball. The problem is look where the 4 is. The 4 is blocked by the 5. Now, again, I have no idea why he thought he had to bang that. Now, clearly he was trying to improve these 2 balls here, but there's, you have to do it at the right time because then you're relying on getting really lucky and having a shot in the 3. So again, he made the wrong move at the wrong time. He should have just potted the 3 and Spectre Dawn has fluked to 4. Again, I don't know that he played that, but the 1 ball stays in play and he's got a long bedhead cut. Now, at best, he may well have a shot in the 3-ball into the right side pocket here if he can get legs on this cue ball. But he didn't get the legs and he didn't get the pot in the 1. And Vertigo Liquid back at the table. Now, he needs to come up with something better. Something of a better plan than he had with his last shot. Now, he needs to check this to come down past the 7 and have at least a combo in the 3. Unless he thinks he can squeeze it past the 6. Well, he certainly can't. So, he's lined up as good as you could probably expect to be to make this combo. But I think he's got to play this pocket weight to try and keep that 3-ball there or thereabouts. He can't hit this hard. And he's hit it too straight. And it's going to be a billiard just to nudge the 6 in and keep the 3 there and play it into this corner, I would think. Oh no, he's rubbed off it. He actually played a little rub off the 3 to then billiard the 6 in, and the 3-ball stays there and it's come out and everything's good. And, well, it's hasta la vista to Vertigo Liquid. And it's going to be same old in the final. It's going to be Larry against Spectre Dawn. They've had many meetings in Friday Night 9-ball. I think Larry's had his fair share of wins, but I think the majority of wins have been Spectre Dawn's. So, Spectre Dawn triumphs over Vertigo Liquid by 9 racks to 7. Now, is Vertigo Liquid in the money? Well, the answer to that is yes, he is. He gets $180 V. Now, that means he's come out with a profit because it was $150 to sign up to this, I think. So he's come out with a $30 V profit. So now we've got this week's final in Friday Night 9-ball. It's Larry from the USA up against Spectre Dawn from the UK. And I think Larry is getting a 7-ball, which is very handy, very generous. And he should make the most of it. So let's get in there and get set.
Welcome to VP4TV. We have live streams from all the major events in Virtual Pool 4 online. We also have live commentary on many matches where I am joined in the commentary booth by game developer Steve Chaplin. I am Tactical Genius aka 9ball.com aka Hugh.
Right, well, we're in the room and Spectre Dawn has obviously either went for a drink, went for a bathroom break. Larry's just in warming up. And in a minute or so, we'll have this final and I can get to bed. I'll have a quick drink again. Right, both players are in. We're having a lag for the break. And Spectre Dawn on the right-hand side has done a decent enough lag. He might have just won it. I think he has. And Larry getting the 7 ball. It's not 7 and out. He's just getting the 7 ball. And Spectre Dawn has a ball in the break. And, of course, once again, he's got a shot in the 1. Now he needs to bounce off the rail. In fact, he's decided he's playing the draw to play the 2 long. I thought he needed to bounce out and across, but 2 ball up table, hold for the 3. Now again, he's got to get as flat an angle in this 3 as he can, and that's not bad. You can just tickle this in. And Larry already will have a fair idea about the inevitability of this rack. Well, I thought for a second there he'd almost overcut that. It went in off the far jaw. The 6 ball tracks into the bottom corner. A nice little nudge with the 5 and 1. The cue ball very handy. And again, a comfortable 1 ball. The 2 balls over the left side. Everything's wide open. And Larry's now thinking, well, you know, there we go. I've lost the lag. Spectre Dawn has hit the ground running on the break. He's broken round the first rack. And it's very likely that he's going to do exactly the same in this second rack. There we go. 2-0. Six ball goes in this time. This time, however, not quite as clear cut on the one ball. It does go through the gap past that 4 ball. You know, and that there was probably the toughest shot in the rack. And immediately, Larry knows what's going to happen. And don't forget that when the two of them lagged there, Larry's wasn't that bad a lag. I mean, he was probably an inch more than Spectre Dawn when the ball's finished rolling out. And this is the end result of it. Spectre Dawn gets the break. He's broke and ran the first 2 racks. And he's going to follow up with a third. Provided he can cut this 7, because again, he's just left himself short. I mean, you could overhit that on the 7 ball by a mile. And, you know, and still have a shot on it. But anyway, he's cut it in. And Larry's just having to sit there, be patient, and hope he gets a shot. And he's only going to get one from either a dry break, and even then there's no guarantee of anything decent, or he's going to have it from a mistake, an unforced error by Spectre Dawn. And there's not necessarily a likelihood of either of that happening. So we're into rack number 4. And Spectre Dawn has had a brain fart because he has not broke the rack. Larry's now at the table. He's going to break from the kitchen, try and get a ball and get a shot and get into this match. And try as he might, he's got neither. And once again, I mean, Larry comes up dry after that mistake with Spectre Dawn. And what does Larry do? He comes up dry and Spectre Dawn's got a straight-in shot in the 1 ball. He's now got a dodgy cut down table here towards this bottom corner pocket. 3 ball right in the middle of the table. So again, he just needs to see the 3 ball. He should have a chance at getting it somewhere. And I think he's right behind it into this corner pocket. Well, what we would call in the old days of the old ball mice, rather than laser mice that we have nowadays, that would have been called a mouse fart. A bit of lint or something, belly button fluff caught in the little tracks inside where the mouse lies. You'd have to scrape that off and clean it out with a nail file or something. Well, you can't use that as an excuse nowadays with modern mice. Either way, it was an error by Spectre Dawn, but he's not going to get punished for it. Well, you don't hook yourself behind the 9. That's the golden rule here. He's well away from that. And he's got a high enough angle to come again. Now, again, this is where he needs to get this right. You don't want to leave yourself short and square on this 9 ball. You've got all the room in the world to get up on top of this 9. And now he's double checking himself. And it's 4-0. And Larry's had one shot in this match so far, which was that ball in hand that he took back into the kitchen, broke the pack, and came up dry. Well, this time Spectre Dawn has come up dry, and now Larry's at the table and having to perform. 1 ball's there, 2 balls in the middle of the table. The problem immediately is how he finishes on the 2 to be able to get down behind this 3 ball. And that's gone the wrong side of the 2, so now he's got an awful lot of yardage to travel. But he's got plenty of room to get to this 3. And that looks a good weight. And now it needs to spin around the corner and out, and that's perfect. So everything's okay so far. Now he's got to get a clean shot in the 4, which he has done. And now, when he pots the 4, does he stun at that side of the 5 to come around, avoid the 5? Or is he just going to let this run? He's brushed the 6. That wasn't in the plan, but that'll do. He's sort of almost got there. Well, I should have been in my bed 2 hours ago. But this is the perils of doing Friday night 9-ball for me. This is why I did stop, and I've got no intention of doing many more. Because it's no good for getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Only getting 5 hours sleep. That's not healthy. But then again, even when I'm not doing Friday night 9-ball, on the normal day's work, when I get home and I have a cup of coffee and something to eat, I'm always having an afternoon nap anyway. And it's just become a force of habit, something that I've got no control over. I just fall asleep. Right, anyway, Larry's got his first rack on the board. Well, he needs a couple of things to happen for him to try and get some momentum, and he ain't getting it. He's getting nothing. He's dry. And Spectre Dawn has a cut in the 1, and again, plenty of room to get on that 2 over the top left-hand corner pocket. Now, from this distance, the problem is he's going to have to dig off the rail and come across. There's a danger of the scratch. He's actually overhit that by quite a margin. Maybe it was actually, I don't know whether he was trying to come around the back end of the 3, maybe play it into the side, but well, again, Larry's going to sneak round the edge of this 5 ball with his jump stick, I think. I mean, he could twist it and probably still pot that 3 actually without the jump stick. He could actually twist it, but he's going to use the jump stick. Now, and he's sitting not too bad on the 4. Now, he's got to capitalise on this. He's got to now he's going to have to sneak round behind the 7. The angle's good to come around the corner and out. Needs to come out far enough. And that will do nicely. Well, up the right-hand side, avoid the side pocket knuckle if you can. on the right side and avoid the scratch above all. And that, Larry's overhit that by a country mile. And that's very poor. Very poor, Larry. You should have left that about there so that you got a nice angle to come up for the 8. Now he's in no man's land with a big cut in this 7 ball, and goodness knows where the cue balls ended up. Well, he's had a bump and he's fluked to 9 as well. What a bonus that is. He's got out of a huge hole there. Well, you need a roll of the ball now and again, and that was exactly what he needed there. He got a big roll, big time. And he's got a ball in the break. And would you believe it? He might have a shot in the 1. Well, he's got a shot in the 1. It's certainly not into the side. It's far, well, it's very tight, but he's played it in off the jaw. He was comfortable with that. I wouldn't have been. Well, can he get this momentum? There's always that. This is a feeling I've been getting for quite a while with Larry, where there's always that feeling he's going to overhit something or underhit something. And I use the term unreliable. You know, in days gone by, you could trust Larry that he was getting out, and those unforced errors weren't there. But they are there in abundance nowadays, that you just cannot rely on him 100% that he's going to get out, that something's going to go wrong with this damn mouse of his. But anyway, all he needs is that 7 ball there, and he's back to within 1. And once again, though, I didn't hear anything go in. Let's have a quick look up the table at this 2 ball and 9 ball. The usual story with this is the 2 ball will go into the side from the bottom side, but it won't go into the corner. And it doesn't. And of course, Spectre Dawn has something of a cut shot on this 1 ball onto the 5, and that is far from a gimme. He's played it. He's hoping to get lucky. He's had a nudge. He's had a nudge in the 2. He's got lucky. He's got a shot in the 1, and he's got an angle where he can manoeuvre this cue ball and try and get up that table for a shot in the 2, one way or another. Well, in fact, again, Inspector Dawn does this a lot, where rather than taking a risk and running the cue ball and trying to get better on the 2, he's moving into an area where he's guaranteed he's having a shot, and it's going to be a tougher cut from distance, but he's nailed it. And that might be an idea for some players in VP4, not trying to get too good and shorten your odds when in actual fact you're lengthening your odds. And he took probably the more difficult option by playing the cut from a longer distance, but he's still at the table. He's left this short, though. He's left this a fair bit short in this 7. And he's got to get this not too flush too soon, because he'll catch that knuckle and it ain't going in. Well, this is a glimmer of hope for Larry here in this rack. Just a glimmer. And there you go. It actually held a line off the rail and out and caught the knuckle and stays out. But wouldn't you know it, Larry's got no shot other than a feather edge of the 7. Oh, he's hit it far too thick. He's hit it too thick. He was looking for yardage with that cue ball there, but he's caught the 7 too thick, and he's left Spectre with a cut. Well, that was Larry's chance there, albeit there was nothing inviting because he had no pot on, but he could have played a much, much better safety shot than that. But 7 ball was caught too thick, brought it into play, left a half chance for Spectre, or probably more than a half chance. And, well, the assumption is that this 8 ball's going to go in, and he'll have a shot in the 9 to open up that gap again. Well, this is just a dead weight drop out to the far jaw, unless he wants to cut it up the rail. There you go. 5-3. So keep an eye out over the weekend for some of these matches being live streamed.
Where's the cue ball going?
In the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship. There's a few in the schedule. We looked at them earlier on. I won't be looking at them after this. I'll be going straight to bed. Now, if you can't be there to join the stream, you can always catch up with any matches that you may have missed, and they'll be on the playlist for this year's event on my channel. And meanwhile, Larry trying to steal one back here. Now, it should go into the table again for this 4 ball. No, he's trying to stay below it. Now, the only thing with that is that, again, the cue ball's heading away from the 5 ball, but he's got to go far enough where he's got a decent shot on this 5. The closer you are to the 5, the easier it is to play a more controlled shot to get in the 6. Now, you say Larry could only go one direction, really. Now the problem he's got is the tricky judgment to play a shot to have a shot in the 6. He's played the stun draw, and that's not bad. I'm going downhill very quickly here. Straight to bed, no messing about. Thank you and good night. Well, Larry's got a couple of balls in the break. 2 balls gone, 6 balls gone. Left with a dodgy cut in the 1. He may well be catching a good chunk of that 5 ball if he's just going to play it plain ball. He might be trying to avoid it. He's avoided it, avoided the 9, come down below the 7, and he's on the 3 into the side. Apart from the fact that he's stuck to the rail, he may well have to just take his medicine and roll out and leave a more testing cut on the 4. Because the problem is, look at the 5, it's blocked by the 9. Well, he stunned it to come inside, which is fine, but I don't know whether he can. The tendency here would be to try and stun that in and draw off it and come across, but I think the 7 may well be in the way. There's half a chance he could get this, not in terms of just the pot, but get across for this 5. Is he trying to go forward? Looks as if he is. You know, well, he's run into the 7. He was always going to do
Where's the cue
that.
ball going?
He's missed the scratch. And he's right in the middle of no man's land again. I don't know that you could actually play, you could have played that draw shot. I didn't like where the cue ball was maybe headed. Well, a 2-in-1 shot there. And this to get back all square. I'm not going yet. No, unless you're going yourself, Liquid. Good night. I'm barely awake, I hasten to add. Well, Larry has the 3 ball, the 6 ball, and no shot in the 1. So he's back to square one. Well, he's not called a push out. Not yet, he hasn't. He is now. Well, that would be a tricky shot to try and execute, to play a jabby stun shot to try and nick behind the 7, because this 1 ball would be going at pace. That is actually a good shot there by Spectrodon, a very good shot. That's got Larry in a heap of trouble. Larry's going to try and spin to the rail and come in behind the 1, I think. No, he's trying to get it direct. Wow, I didn't think he could get it that tight, that quick, but he has done. He's got the hit, but of course he's not going to got it anywhere near safe. So 5 apiece at the moment. I think he's gone a bit straight. Yeah, he's just gone a bit straight, but he could just try to spin it around the angles. He's almost got there pretty much. 7 ball down the rail, 8 ball over the side pocket. Well, after Larry's comeback, Spectrodon regains the lead. I think he may well have come up dry again. He has certainly came up dry. This time, though, Larry's got a shot on the 1 into the side now. He can play this and hope to get a bump on the half side of that 4 ball, which would hold him for the 2, like that. But the cue ball's trying to leak away, and it has done. And that the idea was right, but he had to get he had to get it thicker and a softer pace in that cue ball. But he should be able to play a half-decent safety here. Remember that jump cues are in play, so unless you get that cue ball tight against something, Spectre Dawn's always going to have a shot to jump to get to this 2-ball. Well, he's not got any cover, and what's more, Spectre Dawn's going to be enticed into playing the cut up the rail here. Because this cue ball, after having hit that 2, wants to come onto the rail. If he hits it hard enough, he can get out into the table and have a shot at the 3. Whether he's going to go 2 rails, back and forth, 1, 2, he's headed up table, but the end result's the same. He's on the 3, and the 4 ball is adjacent. He doesn't have to do a lot to have a shot in the 4. 5 ball, well, it's not going up the rail past the 6. That's too tight. Well, he just sneaks out far enough. So now he has to make his mind up what he's doing about the 5 ball. And it would seem to me the obvious thing is if you get somewhere up top, you'll have a shot in the 5. And he's got the same idea. I mean, that's far too tight an angle to drop into the side, so he's going to cut it up the rail, and he's always going to have that shot in the 6 ball. So the one that's going to decide the rack is the 6 to the 7. Well, he did play it into the side. I thought he'd have played it down into the corner pocket. But again, he's no hesitation, just nails it into the side pocket. And Spectre Dawn not quite getting there on the 7, but again, he's loads of room for the cut and to run the cue ball and get on the 8. These are situations that he deals with week in, week out in Friday Night 9 Ball. He might leave himself what to most players would look a tougher shot, but 9 times out of 10, he gets them anyway. And the lead goes to 2 again. 7-5. And at least 3 balls have gone in the break. He's got no shot in the 2 because the 1 has gone, the 4 has gone, the 5 has gone. And he's now trying to use that 6 ball for cover. And he hasn't got there. And I'll be back in a wee minute, folks. Right, I am back, and I see Larry has managed to pinch one back to within one. Ball in the break, shot on the one as well. And of course, he's got to stay up there to play this 3-ball into the bottom corner. Now that needs to bounce, or it needs to stay there. He'll have a straight one into the other corner, but that wasn't part of the plan, I don't think. Fairly straight, and the cue ball's heading in the right direction. Now he's got... Well, he's going to brush off the 7. He doesn't want to hit this too hard. He could end up on top of the 6. And he's just caught the 7 ball and no more. And that's ended up not too bad. So 7 ball into the side is the order of the day here. And this tournament started at 8 p.m. British Summer Time. And it is now just about 10 minutes short of 3 hours. And Larry cannot stop potting balls in the break now. And he's going to have a very quick 2-9 combo here. He had the 1, the 3, the 5, and a 2-9 combo to get to the hill. Well, he couldn't be sitting any better to play this. He just has to get this thin enough to make the cut. Well, he's played the 2 instead rather than play the combo. Is that going to be the right choice here? Is that going to be the right choice? It looks an easy enough table for him, but strange things happen. He refused the 2-9 combo. Oh, now, is that going to backfire on him? That's the question. And because the 4 ball's running loose, and look what's happened. It's ended up nowhere. Well, now he could try and play a stun billiard onto the 9. He could play the bank on the 4. It looks as if he's going to play the bank into the corner. But it's amazing how things go wrong. He could have played that 2-9. It wasn't the most difficult 2-9 combo in the world. Why he didn't take it, I don't know. Well, he's banked to 4. Now the cue ball needs to keep running. He's going to be on top of the 7. Well, it could have finished worse than this. But he's got to get the cue ball. No, he doesn't, because he only needs a 7. I almost forgot again. And he's just caught the knuckle, but it goes in. And that was a good out from Larry. But I'll tell you, he likes to do things the hard way. And he's on the hill, breaking for the match. Well, he could have done with that last break there, because I think he's once again come up dry. Inspector Don. Well, he's got a bit of pressure on the shot. He's guaranteed to be on the 2, because this cue ball's coming around the back of the 2, out into the wide open country in the middle of the table. The problem shot is getting from the 2 onto the 3, where he's not blocked off by that 6 ball. And the 1 ball just sneaks in. And he's more than likely going to have to leave the high cut in this 3 ball. Unless he thinks he's going to play a 3-7 combo. He could be just going forward to come down. That's what he's doing. And he's just overhit it. He's overhit it by, probably about a foot. Had he left himself there, There'd have been much better odds in this 3-7 combo working, but once again, no hesitation. Just gets down to it, plays the shot. Now, is he staying in the short side of the 4? Yes, he is. A little check up to do that. And anywhere out into the table, they have a shot in the 5. And we're going to go hill here by the look of it. And that's a perfect line on this 5 ball. He can go forward and come off the short rail and back out into the table. He can stun it out. I think the safest route's to go forward and just roll this in and have the pace and legs to get out. And that's what he's done, rather than risking a stun shot in these pockets. And now he's left himself a wee bit more to do with the cue ball. Because again, the cue ball just wants to leak away this way, so you've got to hit it hard enough. And he has done. Now it needs to just drop short of the rail, and that's perfect because this is just a roll in and drop through the short side of the 9. And we have a hill final rack decider, 8 apiece, but Spectre Dawn breaking for the match. Well, we might just be short of the 3 hours. We're approaching 5 minutes to 11. Spectre Dawn's break is looking dry. Oh no, the 1 ball's going into the side, and he's on the 2. And Larry, I think, knows now that this match should very well be over. I'm looking to see where the problem might be. It might be getting from the 6 onto the 7, because then it depends on how you get onto that 6 as to how easy it is to get onto this 7. So there's that to look ahead to, and that is probably clutching at straws to find where there might be a problem that could occur for Spectre Dawn. Because where he is right now is in prime position to get access to these 3 balls that are in the middle of the table. You know, the 3 to the 4 to the 5, and then the 6 on the right-hand side. Now, if he's going to play the 6 into this bottom right-hand corner, then he has to be in such a way where the simple shot would be, if he was there in the 6, he could stun the 6 in and stun across for that 7 into the corner, like that. So this next shot is a critical one. Now, he's got himself onto the 5. Now, if he stuns in short behind the 6, that'd be one way where he could stun across for the 7. Now, he's staying above. So now he's going to come off the rail and come across on the shorter side. Is that the shorter side? Well, it's just the shorter side of the 7. And now it's all about the contact on the 8. Well, he certainly doesn't want to push it dead onto the short rail. He's going to more or less hit this 8 ball full in the face when he cuts the 7. And he's hit it hard enough to bring it into the table. And now he can just jab it into the side, hold for the 9. And it's yet another Friday night 9-ball title for Spectre Dawn. He's double checking the angle, looking to make sure where the 9-ball's sitting, but the rest is history and inevitable. And in it goes. So that's it, folks. Another win for Spectre Dawn and Friday night 9-ball. Slim may well be around next week. He couldn't make it this week. But don't forget Slim's channel on Twitch. You go there and you just type in One Pocket Slim. You'll find his channel, no problem. That is it. Well done to Spectre Dawn. Unlucky to Larry. He battled all the way. But I am off, and I'll bid you good night. And we'll see you again very soon. Take care. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to VP4TV. We have live streams from all the major events in Virtual Pool 4 online. We also have live commentary on many matches where I am joined in the commentary booth by game developer Steve Chaplin. I am Tactical Genius aka 9ball.com aka Hugh.